I am sitting here with the one and only John Cameron. Hello, John.
Hello.
Just going to run through a few questions here so people can get to know you better. If in post you decide you don't like any of your answers, you let me know. They won't be in there. When did you first start taking interest in the weather?
As a child.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting pathology as to how this came about, because I think my initial interest, the thing I really liked, strangely enough, was maps and geography. I just completely nerded out as a child. Like, for example, we'd take trips in the family car, and I was the navigator because I knew how to read a map. And you'd see the weatherman on television, and there's this big, glorious map behind him. And I thought that was really cool, especially when there was some big, nasty thunderstorms on the radar screen behind him. I thought that was fantastic. So I knew at a very young age I wanted to be a weatherman.
Started with maps.
Yeah, started with maps.
That, John.
In fact, one of the most memorable points in my life is when we were in Oklahoma City. My parents took me to the National Weather Service, and went in there, and all the forecasters were really nice, and they gave me a map.
Oh boy.
They gave me a paper map. I remember having it laminated, and it ended up on my wall, so that was really cool.
Nice. Well, okay. And then when did you decide to become a weatherman? Was that further down from when you started taking the interest in weather, or was it about the same time?
Yeah, I always had the desire to do it. I just didn't know exactly when the opportunity might come about to make it happen. A lot of very interesting things came together. When I first started here at News Channel 6, the chief meteorologist at the time was a guy by the name of Tom Charles, who had done weather in this television market for a long, long time. When I was a kid and I was dreaming about being a weatherman, he was the weatherman. And I think he saw something in me. Obviously, I'd had some experience coming from the Navy. They gave me some formal education as far as the weather is concerned, but he thought perhaps I had what it take. He thought that perhaps I had what it took to do weather on television. And he was probably one of the few people that gave me a chance. This was back, I think, in 1998. So, I think a lot of things happened. A lot of things came together at the right time for that to happen.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What's the closest you've ever been to a tornado?
The closest I've ever been to a tornado, maybe 1.5 miles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which, by today's standards, that's a pretty fair distance.
Yeah.
Some people try to drive right into them for some reason. I'll never understand that. But this was the most recent tornado I saw, which was back in, I want to say, August of 2007.
Oh, wow.
I was tracking a thunderstorm through northern Clay County, and a tornado touched down briefly very near Thornberry. And by the time I got on my radio to report it in, it had already crossed the Red River into Oklahoma. But a very short-lived tornado. It was back up in the clouds, I think probably within 45 seconds to a minute.
Wow. All right. Okay. What is your perfect day weather-wise? The perfect day.
Perfect day weather-wise. You're just asking me this as a person?
Yeah. Like if you were forecasting the perfect day for John Cameron.
I don't think it gets better than when it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun is shining, and it's about 75 degrees. To me, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Now, that typically means that it's going to be a cool morning. But 75 to me is the perfect temperature.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer. Top answer on the board. Let's see. John, everyone knows you are a drummer. Mm-hmm. And you love to drum.
I do.
Choose between the two. You never have to forecast the weather again or never drum again. What you choosing?
Man, I've been a drummer for 25 years. You know, I started doing that as a teenager. That would be a very difficult sacrifice. Now, granted,
You make your living doing the weather.
yeah, I was about to say, there's not much of a living to be made for a rock and roll drummer here in our part of the world.
What is your favorite song to drum while we're talking about it? The best song to drum. Funnest.
Oh my goodness.
You had to pick, you're stuck on a desert island with one song to drum.
That's a tough one. See, I'll answer this question, and then maybe 6 hours from now I'll be like, oh, I should have. Favorite song to drum?
Is this question too hard? Favorite genre?
There's just so many, man. You know, I love rock and roll. I love R&B.
Well, okay, I'll give you a pass on that and go to the next question then.
Yeah.
We all know here that you like the hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite hip hop group or solo artist? Go ahead.
I'd have to say probably my all-time favorite rap group would be a Tribe Called Quest. But I'll tell you what, Public Enemy is way up there.
All right.
I mean, they made such an impression on me. But as far as like total body of work, it'd have to be a Tribe Called Quest.
Okay, good answer. Is there any chance you would rap a line for us on camera? You can say no.
Well, back in the early 90s, there was a rap artist by the name of Craig Mack.
Yes, Born to Mac.
Yeah, and he had a track called "Flavor in Your Ear."
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And I think one of the coolest things he ever said was, and I'm not going to get all hip hop on you, but he said, "You're crazy like that glue to think that you could outdo my 1-2 that's sick like the flu."
Wow.
That was pretty awesome.
Wow, that was great, John. And I got one more question. Being a weatherman, dealing with rain, this is just kind of what kind of a guy are you? For $100,000, would you go without hot water for a year? You got to think about it. No hot shower. You can't wash your dishes in hot water. We're talking about the family would probably have to go along with this. You've got two
For
kids and a wife.
$100,000?
$100,000, no hot water for a year.
I think hot water for a year is worth more than $100,000.
Well, really?
I do.
All right.
That's just how important it is to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
Aaron.
Very good.
Yeah.